Welcome everybody. Today is your pre-cleanse training webinar, our kickoff call for the 2019 summer 5-day Whole Foods cleanse. And I am so thrilled that you are all here cleansing with me. This has been a summer of celebrations for me. So more than ever, I absolutely need to do this cleanse. It is at a perfect timing for me. So we're going to be talking for about 45 minutes, maybe up to an hour, depending on questions. But we're going to be going through what is your intention for the Whole Foods cleanse. You signed up, so let's talk about what your goals are. We're going to just quickly define cleanse and detox. Why do we need to do this cleanse? So you can help understand what's going on in our body, what to expect during this cleanse, how to be successful. And at the end, I'm going to be kind of doing like an online grocery store tour. So I'm going to be holding up different products that are in different recipes. So when you go out to the store, you know what to look for. So that's going to be at the end. And throughout this entire webinar, feel free to ask questions at any time. And there'll also be time at the end for questions. I did get a few questions messaged to me beforehand, so I will be answering those at the end. So my name is Kearney. I am a certified integrative nutrition health coach, and I own my business, Mindful Health. So I coach people individually. I meet with them on the phone, video just like this. And also I do wellness workshops. I run this cleanse, which I'm starting next year. I'll be just running one time a year. And at any time, if you have questions throughout this cleanse, I am your health coach. So email me, post something on Facebook, call me, whatever you need. I am here to support you. I love the comments on Facebook because then we can all learn from each other's questions, concerns, and everybody come into this with no judgment. When you come into our Facebook group, this is a spot where you are safe to say, there are cookies in the break room and I don't know what to do, and most likely someone's going to be online to talk you away from that break room and to have maybe, you know, an apple with some almonds or something that's more sensible that would be in the guidelines of our cleanse. So if you have not joined our super cool Facebook group that's just for the 2019 summer crew, please join that today, and make sure you set your notifications to see all posts. Facebook keeps changing up the algorithms, and so you won't see all the posts unless you actually state that you will be doing that. So first of all, I just want to start off with setting an intention for the cleanse. So thinking about what is your purpose? What are your goals for being on this cleanse? Are you thinking about, oh, I've been so fatigued, I want to increase my energy. My sleep is, a lot of people are complaining about sleep, is that it's harder to fall asleep or you wake up and you're tired. For me, I know one of my goals is to reset my taste buds, that I have been indulging a little bit more than I usually do. And so whatever we eat, we crave more of. And so when we take away all the sugar and the dairy and the gluten, we reset our taste buds. Maybe it's to lose some weight. Maybe it's to give up an unhealthy habit. A lot of people love just trying new recipes, having a week of self-care that's focused on you. So whatever it is, start with your intention. I would love for everyone to post in our Facebook group what your intention is for the cleanse. Tell your friends, tell your family you are doing this cleanse so they can support you, and what your intention is so everybody around you can be there for you. So this cleanse, we're going to be doing a little bit more in mindset. So at the end of the week, at the last workshop, we're going to be doing a lot of mindset work so that you can continue on with a lot of these habits. These 5 days, I want you just to believe fully in yourself. You all have the capacity to do this. And really the secret to success is just not hearing all those doubts. Most of us are about 80% negative. So doubt all those doubts that you have in your mind and just feed off of the good ones and saying you can do it. So we're going to be going through today the handbook. We're also going to be going through the recipe book. If you have them in front of you, great, but you don't have to have them in front of you. You may want to have a notebook and a pen. If you're watching this on the replay, feel free to press pause and go grab that if you like. So the handbook is on the private website. And actually, maybe I'll just go to the private website real quick so you can all see what that looks like if you haven't been there yet. Let's see here. I think it's going to be right here. Do you all see this? So when you come in here, you use the password to get in, and each cleanse is a different password. And you can see the items that you have to download. So you can click on the handbook here, and that's the first thing I would like you to do is to read that handbook. A lot of your questions are probably going to be answered, and I made it very detailed because this is now, I think it's either my 8th or my 9th or my 10th cleanse that I've run. So each time I learn a little bit more of what to add. Here are the seasonal recipes for the summer cleanse, the juices, shopping form. I have a lot of tips about how to shop as well. And some of you may want to use the form, some of you have something else. And then I have all these bonuses. So I put some extra soup recipes just because sometimes it's just nice to make a big vat of soup, but they're not really summerish, but so it's up to you. Worksheets for the last webinar. I love the Make It Last, your post-detox how-to guide. If you have cleansed before, or if you eat a pretty much of a whole food diet already, absolutely, I would suggest that you read these strategies to deepen your cleanse. And even for everyone, there's some fun ones like take an Epsom salt bath. That's a great way, and it's really fun. And so just all the different resources if you want to practice yoga, if you are not sure about an ingredient, you want to learn more about them. I posted some links to some videos for some one-on-one to help with that. So just have fun with this. This site is a one-stop shop, so you can get the links for the webinars here. This is also where I'll post the recording of all the webinars, and everything that you need to know is on this private page. So I'm going to go back to sharing, let's see, the PowerPoint here. So first of all, we have the handbook, and just read this whole handbook. Think about all the different times that, when are you going to go to the grocery store? When are you going to prep in the kitchen? When we plan, we are a success. So a lot of you are busy professionals as well. So think about how you plan for your job. A lot of times we have to think about and organize things in advance to have an event a success, to have a teaching lesson a success, whatever you are doing. So think about all the different ways to prep for this. So people might be like, why? I signed up for this. I hear I should be doing a cleanse or a detox. What the heck is it? Well, basically, it's just a process by which our body gets rid of the poison in our body. So that's a detox. A cleanse is to remove dirt or make something clean. So I just use these terms interchangeably. Bottom line, what we're doing next week is we're just taking off the bad foods and we're putting in good foods. And when we have that break, we can help release the toxins that we carry in our body. So, and the reason why we need to do it is because we live in a toxic world. You know, I eat pretty healthy. I eat organic foods, but we have toxins in our air and in a lot of the chemicals, like on our clothes and different things like that. So we are overloaded with chemicals. So signs that you may need a detox, sometimes we have like the lower belly fat or a belly bloat, maybe you have some indigestion. A lot of times if you have irregular like constipation, then diarrhea, then upset stomach, poor sleep quality, a lot of people, it's fatigue or PMS or skin breaking out. If you have a friend who has the skin that's breaking out, that's the least efficient way for the toxins to come through. So that means that there might be some buildup of toxins. So detoxing is just a natural process of the body, and it's always going on without us even realizing it. It's just the same way that our lungs breathe and our hearts beat. So it's really great that this happens. And when we cleanse, we are reactivating. Once these toxins are reactivated after a cleanse, they can move through the bloodstream and just get dumped out of our body. So now the body is able to burn up the fat cell that has been storing the toxin. And I always think about, you know, it's like in our lower belly, these fat cells, these toxins getting into this mucus of your fat cells. And no matter what you do, if you continue to put toxins in, they can't get expelled out of your body. So we have to take a break from that. And it's amazing, you know, we have so many things linked to the chemicals in our body that it's preventative is the best way to live life. That if we are just reactive to things, it's going to cost us a lot in money and cost us in what we want to do in our life. So hormonal imbalance, weight gain, autoimmune diseases, infertility, a lot of behavior problems with chemicals in our body, ADHD. I mean, you can read this list here. Heart disease, allergies, learning disabilities, anxiety, brain fog, chronic fatigue, and even cancer. You know, I always think about how when people are sick, we tend to bring over, you know, cookies and cake to make them feel better, but really sugar is just going to feed whatever they have. So we need to be kind to each other, learn what food actually is medicine to our body. We've all heard that quote, medicine is food and food is medicine if we eat the right types of foods. So what happens if we don't do this? Well, we're probably going to continue to have bloating. For food cravings, I know I used to be where I felt like I didn't even have a choice. Like I just felt like I have to eat this sugar. I have to eat this salt. So we would continue to have these uncontrollable food cravings instead of having the freedom to choose what we want. Digestive issues, our skin's not going to look clear. Our sleep is probably not going to be great. A lot of people, especially my age, I'm in my late 40s, complain about mental fog, and when they clean up their diet, that's one of the biggest things, is that they are like, oh my gosh, my brain fog is lifted, and then just being able to lose weight. So it's easier to get rid of those toxins in the belly fat. So a lot of you might be like, okay, I'm a little nervous, but I'm also excited. What am I going to expect during this whole foods cleanse? So number one, we are going to take out all processed food of our diet. So just think about real, whole, nutritionally dense foods for the week. We're going to be adding in whole grains, vegetables in order to increase the fiber. All of these recipes and everything that we're going to be doing is going to help us recognize the habits that maybe aren't supporting us in our health. It's a way of looking at things from a new perspective. So this week, there's lots of different experiences that people have. And I have had people who have done cleanses with me 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And each time they're like, oh my gosh, I now feel this way during this cleanse. Last time I felt, you know, a lot of energy. This time I'm feeling an emotional release. So just be okay. We don't have to judge what's going on. Just say like, okay, this is what's happening. But you may have better digestion. A lot of people will go to the bathroom more during the cleanse, and that is okay. And by the way, even in the Facebook group, we can talk about poop. I mean, just it's open to all conversations about anything that's going on. A lot of people love talking about the clear skin that they get. Fatigue and low energy could happen, especially the first couple days of the cleanse. Day 1 is usually great, but day 2 and 3 might be the hardest with some low energy. Some people get emotional releases because we've stored all of this and it's coming out of our body, and that could mean some more emotions. Some people say, you know, oh, I feel really heavy today, and then somebody else will say, I feel really light. And so it's so different. Mood swings could happen because they might be related to the toxins coming in your bloodstream. Headaches are common. We need to drink a lot of water to crowd out those headaches. Constipation, diarrhea. Again, this is a wonderful opportunity. The main reason I put this cleanse together is so you can understand that personal insights into your eating habits and your food attachments, so you can see that. And every time I cleanse, I see something new. So I just keep going to a deeper level. I've had people lose from 2 to 14 pounds. I know it sounds crazy when it's like 14 pounds in 5 days, but it all depends on where you're coming from. And then what you put into it. And then, of course, just reductions in cravings. I love at the end of the week when people are like, oh my gosh, you know, those cookies are in the break room and I don't even want one, or I'm not even taking my Mountain Dew. I don't want it. So it's great. So It's okay to be nervous, and just know that we all can do hard things. Think about some of the other obstacles that you have overcome in your life. So you can do this. And when you don't feel good on maybe day 2 or 3, it's okay. It just means that things are working. Just go all out and go and put everything into this cleanse, because that's when you are going to get the most out of it. And I am here to help you get prepared. There's a lot of information in this handbook, so just go and read through everything so you have all the information for you. If you are struggling, please reach out to me. I am here for you. Again, the Facebook group is the best place for us to do that. So listen to your body. This is something that I never did until I started my healing journey 7 years ago when I was in a bicycle accident. And it took me years to understand that I needed to listen to my body. So when we are hungry, I want you to eat. This is not about starvation, but it's about making the right choices for when you are hungry and asking yourself, am I really hungry, or am I just bored? Have I been sitting too long? Maybe I'm a little sad about something. So take a break, reevaluate if you're really hungry. Maybe take a walk around the block, something like that. Drink a full glass of water, then go ahead and have a sensible snack. If you're thirsty, drink some water, drink some iced tea. If you're tired, try to find time to relax or even maybe go to sleep. These 5 days, I cannot express enough, this is an incredible opportunity. You're going to be reconnecting with your body, and you're going to learn to understand the messages. Our body tells us really great things all day long, every day, but most of the time we're not listening. And so we need to listen to what things are meaning. So basically what we're doing is we're going to be focusing on like the nutritionally dense whole food. So this is like vegetables. We're going to be having fruits for desserts. You can have whole grains on this. So brown rice, quinoa, oats. For protein, chicken, turkey, fish, beans. Healthy fats are going to be more like nuts and seeds and avocados. Lots and lots of water. If you have some water, take a sip right now. Cheers. And then lots of detoxifying tea. And at the end, when I do my little grocery store tour, we're going to talk about different types of detox teas. So what we are avoiding are like processed foods. So basically, if it's in a box, most likely it's not going to be okay for the cleanse. Sugar, dairy, gluten, corn, white potatoes, red meat, pork, alcohol, and caffeine. What I want you to focus on is everything you can have instead of everything you can't have, because wherever we put our focus is what's going to grow. And the more we say, oh, I can't have this, the more you're going to want it. So just think about everything that you can have. So one, we are going to be skipping the sugar. So instead of having the sugar, focus on natural sweeteners. So this is going to be your local and wild honey, dates, 100% pure maple syrup. At my health food store, you can buy like rolled dates with like unsweetened coconut around them, and those make really great snacks. And the reason why I like these 3 as sweeteners is because they have nutrients in them. When you eat actually like the sugar or corn syrup or anything like that, we have to take energy to process that. So it takes away the energy. So we want to skip all that. And there is sugar in alcohol. And I know in the summer, this is my toughest time to not have that glass of wine at night. But again, it's only 5 nights. So we are still going Friday night. So that drink Saturday night, it's going to feel much better once you've detoxed. Ditch the dairy. So when I went back to school at the Institute of Integrated Nutrition, I learned a lot more about nutrition. And this was one that I knew dairy affected people, but I didn't realize it's about 80% of people have some kind of intolerance to dairy. So what we're doing for this whole cleanse is we're taking out all the inflammatory foods. So see how it feels to be dairy-free. So we're going to avoid, you know, obviously ice cream and cheese. I know it's a hard one. Sour cream. It's the coffee creamer, that's going to be avoided. So, but instead focus on having, you know, coconut milk or almond milk, quinoa milk, hemp milk, different things like that. So we're avoiding gluten, so there is no bread or pasta. And I want you also to stay away from the gluten-free aisle. A lot of those are processed and they have sugar and other chemicals in them. So choose things like brown rice, wild rice, quinoa, you know, and maybe some starchy vegetables like sweet potatoes. And again, I'll show you when I'm on the big screen, but there's things that are minimally processed, like Mary's Gone crackers. If you're used to having snacks, you can get some minimally processed things that are made out of all real food. Red meat sometimes surprises people, but we're giving our digestion a rest during this detox. And so red meat is just, and pork is just harder for our digestion system. So we're giving it a much needed rest. So again, we're going to be focusing on chicken, turkey, wild caught cold water fish, beans, lentils, all during the cleanse instead. So, and then we just want to eliminate all the obvious toxins. To truly cleanse our body, particularly the liver, it's important to cease consumptions of all alcohol, you know, tobacco, drugs. If you're taking a prescription medication, obviously you would want to stay on with that. But we want to avoid most over-the-counter medications like Tylenol, Excedrin, and Advil. A lot of times we just go into our default setting, and so when we get a headache, we're going to grab the Advil, but there's a lot of chemicals in it. So think about focusing on anti-inflammatory foods for your headaches and turmeric. And you can get turmeric in a supplement form as a pill. I take one turmeric every day. I also like to get it, kind of looks like ginger. And I did not grab that out of my fridge for today, but it looks like, kind of looks like a finger maybe, but it's a root vegetable. You can grate it over your eggs. You can put like a little slice in your smoothie. But turmeric is basically like the food equivalent to Advil. So then focus on drinking herbal teas and reduce your caffeine. So sipping on herbal teas really can provide a natural energy boost without all the processed and scary ingredients that are in other things. So focus on detox teas, and if you need a little caffeine, I would highly suggest a green tea because that has the better kind of caffeine. If you drink coffee, in the handbook it shows how to wean off a coffee, and you would want to start that today if you haven't already started that. So again, all of the general guidelines are in the handbook. So just thinking about, you know, eating your meals mindfully, sit down and enjoy all your meals, focus on your self-care for the week, pay attention to your body, all the different things. There's so much more information in the handbook itself. So we want to notice all your food attachments. The last cleanse I did, I realized, oh my goodness, I was eating off of my daughter's plates when they would not eat everything. And now I've stopped doing that. So this cleanse is, again, this incredible opportunity to look at your habits from this new perspective. And most of us do have attachments, especially things that are like sugar, chips, or having that glass of wine almost every night. And I used to do that, like 1 or 2 glasses almost every night. So drink more water. Oh my goodness. So water hydrates, you know, our body and helps the kidneys just flush the toxins from the body naturally. When you first wake up in the morning, even after the cleanse, just always have a full glass of water next to your bedside and drink that when you wake up. Our bodies naturally detox when we sleep, but a lot of times we are not putting enough hydration in our body to flush them out. So we are just letting it sit there. And there's so much more to cleansing than just what we eat. It's also about controlling our stress. And this is one of the secrets to weight loss and to health. Stress-induced emotions consume a lot of energy. So take action during the cleanse to lower your stress. So maybe for you, it's talking to a friend, going for a walk, reading, practicing meditation, or going to yoga. If you want to talk more about this with me, let me know. I work in depth with people about controlling their stress, and something that I still struggle with and working on all the time. Get quality sleep. A lot of people are surprised to hear that we we might not be losing the weight if we're not getting enough sleep, because when we sleep, our body is resting, it's restoring, it's repairing all the day's damage. So during the cleanse, you need to go to bed 15 to 30 minutes earlier. And I know that this is going to be tough for a lot of people. So write down now, what time do you need to be done with everything so you can get up to your bed about a half hour earlier to get a little bit extra sleep. So lighten your load. So during the cleanse, just try not to plan anything extra. So if you're planning a happy hour with your friends, you can wait till the next week to do that, because it is tempting when you do that. And then just streamline your list to just your must-do activities and just set a lot of priorities in terms of the most important tasks. So exercise every single day, and this is going to look different for everybody. I've had detoxers that were runners and going to Orange Theory that needed to cut back on their exercise during the cleanse to give their body a little bit of a break, and would go for shorter runs and add in yoga. But we want to make sure that every single day we are exercising, because we are going to release some of the toxins with our sweat. Yoga is wonderful as well, because we release toxins through our breath. And yoga is a mind, body, soul activity that focuses on breathing. So this is going to just be like a natural choice for regular detoxification. So think about every day what you can do. And it's summertime, so try to do it outside as well, because that vitamin D is going to be helpful to make you happy as you go through the cleansing. So if you can, try to eat at home for all your meals. I do have a bonus guide about how to eat out during the cleanse. I have done it many times, so you can absolutely do it, but it is easier if you can do it at home. So set aside a few days before the cleanse to go shopping. A lot of people will shop, either like tonight, Friday night, or Saturday go shopping, and then Sunday do prepping. Familiarize yourself with ingredients so you can pair the food ahead of time. So if you are working during the day, you can get home and be like, oh, okay, we got the garbanzo bean burgers already made. That's what we're going to heat up. Or we have the egg bake that we're going to have for dinner now, different things like that. I like to have my fridge be a salad bar with a lot of veggies cut up and different greens, and then one homemade dressing, so I can just pick and choose what I want every time. But if you don't have things easy to grab when you're hungry, you're probably going to go back to your autopilot and maybe not grab something that is that healthy for you. So look in the handbook for the daily protocol. It's as easy as, in the morning, having a hot cup of water with some lemon. And if your house is really hot in the summer, warm is okay too, but it does get the digestive juices going. Having that smoothie for summer, I would encourage you to have a green smoothie every morning. This is the season that we want to have more salads, a lot more greens. In the winter months, I kind of guide you a little bit more away from this because our bodies are needing more food, but in the summer, we are actually the opposite. We want a little bit lighter. So thinking about when you're going to drink your water. If you're taking the supplements, I have an optional guide. If you want to add in supplements, make sure you take those. Have a snack in the afternoon if you want, or in the mid-morning. Sometimes a snack could just be like a cup of detox tea as well. But when you eat, think about being mindful. Turn off the TV. Do anything that is going to take you outside of your comfort zone. Take a few deep breaths before you eat. Put down your fork between each bite. Chew your food. I know at school they said like 100 times to chew each bite, but I don't advise that. Just chew until you can't chew anymore, and that's going to take you a long time to eat. So again, look at the daily protocol. This is a great 2 sheets to print out, so you can see exactly what you need to do. It's as easy as this. So how are you going to prepare for the cleanse? And you're like, I want to get a lot out of this, right? So in the handbook, there is cooking and meal prep tips. So again, we want to set aside, time over the weekend. A lot of people during the summer cleanse are not all doing it next week because summer is crazy with vacations and kids going off to college and different things like that. So if you are one of those that are not doing it August 12th through the 16th, please tell us in the Facebook group, because there will be people that will want to do it again and again and again, the same cleanse, and we can just jump on the bandwagon for a time 2 weeks from now or whatever it is. But set your 5 days aside. It doesn't have to be Monday through Friday, whatever works best in your schedule, but you need to have a time a couple days before to prep. So when you have the refrigerator full of yummy, healthy foods ready to go when you get home from work, it's just, you're not going to be so tempted, and you can really stick with those detox guidelines. So we're going to look through some of the recipes towards the end of this webinar, but pre-cutting snacks and veggies, things like that. If you are pressed for time in the morning, you can make that egg bake over the weekend and then heat it up in the morning. Or when I make a smoothie, I typically make like 2 days in a row. The second day has a little less nutrients, but it's there. And I like to build everything in my blender the night before because I am not a morning person, and I know that about me. But when I have it all prepped the night before and all I have to do is then add the frozen blueberries or something frozen in the morning, it's like, okay, it's already done. I've done the work. All I have to do is blend it and then go. So it's nice and easy. I also love to have a pot on my stove. I always have greens in my fridge. So if you want to steam them or have a salad on the side of anything, it's a great thing to have. So the daily checklist is pretty easy, and this is also in the handbook. I love printing off the checklist every time I do a cleanse, and I put it on my fridge, and I just check it off. It's like, okay, did I drink lots of water today? Yeah, I did. Was I more conscious about moving more throughout the day? Did you exercise? Yes. Were you more mindful of your eating habits? Did you practice gratitude? I think gratitude, there's a lot of power in healing and helping us move forward in our health. Did you stick to all of the meal guidelines, and did you go to bed early? It's as easy as that. So here is what it looks like in your handbook. So a nice one-sheeter that you can just print off and put on the fridge. So for your to-do list for this weekend, just read through the materials. If you are tight on time, just stick with the handbook, the suggested recipes, and the smoothie guide. Those 3 things are going to be the most important for you. Decide what recipes you want to make. I give a lot of recipes, and some of the recipes are favorites from past cleanses. A lot of the recipes are brand new for this summer. And the reason why I give you a lot is because you are all different. There are some people on the cleanse who are vegetarian, and so they're going to say no to all the ones with meat. And other people are in families that could not imagine a meal without meat. We have some people who are making meals for their families, and they want more family-friendly meals. So just look at those and just circle the ones that you're interested in that look best to you. Make your shopping list then. I love the bulk section, especially if you're buying something you've never bought before. I like to bring like my measuring cup and spoons, and it's like, okay, if you just need 1 tablespoon of something, you can just buy that, and then you can test next week. Oh, I really liked that ingredient. Now I'll buy a big bag. Prepping is key to success here. Again, focus on what you can eat instead of what you can't. Start adding more water in your diet today. The best thing that we can do to crowd out our unhealthy cravings is to add in a lot more water and vegetables. So just focus on this weekend, adding in more water, more vegetables. That's going to make the cleanse go better. If you're drinking soda or coffee, just slowly start to wean off of it right now. Buy organic if possible. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that. Be mindful. And I know that some people have not received some emails of mine, and it's ending up in a promotions tab on email. And one other person had it in their spam junk. So just make sure that you check all those areas so that you are getting my information. So with the Dirty Dozen, a lot of people are probably familiar with this. The Environmental Working Group puts this out every year. The 2019 report just came out a couple months ago. So just focus on, if you're thinking about, gosh, I can't afford to buy everything organic, just focus on the 12 dirtiest foods. So those are the foods that have the most pesticides in them. If you just buy those 12, organically, you save about 80% of the pesticides in your body. And at first, I had a hard time with the cost difference. And now I just think, why is the other stuff so cheap? It's not that the others is so expensive. It's the other one is so cheap. And I just don't want to have all those chemicals in my body that a lot have been linked to cancers and different other diseases. So the Clean 15 are the top 15 foods that they still have pesticides in them, but they don't have that many. Most of them have like a hard shell, so it's harder to get in. So, you know, avocados, pineapples, eggplants, different things like that. And these change every year. So I just wanted to tell you, like, this is the Dirty 18, because like blueberries and cucumbers usually are on the Dirty Dozen, but they're not anymore. And lettuce and tomatoes, like those are still ones that I personally still buy organically because they still have pesticides in them. So you also have a bonus guide that has smoothies and elixirs and green juices. I think I have like 36 or 40 different recipes in there. So these recipes you can be using for a long time to come. I know I've had some people that they're like, oh, I just did like a whole 30, but this is like is a little bit easier than a whole 30, so people can actually stick to these guidelines. It's easier to be a success. Again, we have the shopping guide. I love that handout, the Make It Last. So, and at the end, again, I'm going to be talking about different ingredients when I go full screen, a little grocery store tour. So I want to cover just some optional supplements. So again, look at that guide. If you're just going to do one thing, if you're like, I really don't want to buy all these supplements, milk thistle is going to be the least effective. Please note that if you have a ragweed allergy, that would not be good. I love just adding in a lot of the teas, the nettle leaf dandelion tea, because they taste good as well, and they're not going to be as expensive as buying some of the other ones. And it's always fun to do detoxes, cleanses with other people. The more you can tell people that you're doing this, the more successful you're going to be. And I love if everyone can have a really great support system. We will be supporting each other in the Facebook group. I have extended, I didn't change my website yet, but I have extended the early bird to expire tonight instead. So Friday, August 9th instead. So if you have somebody that would like to join in, they are welcome to come in and join the party. So think about your coworkers, your neighbors, soccer moms, anybody like that. I think it's really fun when they get together and they'll prep some food together, or they each make one meal and then they swap, they make a double and then they swap, especially people at work when they just, I've had lots and lots of employees do this together. I come into companies and I run these cleanses, and so then they'll have, for 5 days they have signups of different people bringing things in. So, and on Friday is when we're going to have the Beyond the Cleanse webinar. So this detox is start of an elimination diet. So if you are curious about how is gluten, how is dairy, how is corn, all these inflammatory foods, I'm going to be teaching you how to different options for transitioning out, and how you can take your new insight and go on with that new healthy habit, and maybe letting go of an unhealthy habit. So make sure your calendars are marked for Friday, August 16th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And so I'm going to take questions now, but I also am going to go into some recipe reviews. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Just go into the box for the chat room, and I would love to hear from you on that. So I'm just going to go over a couple things here. So chia seeds, I love chia seeds. Chia seed pudding is wonderful to have as a snack, but a lot of times people are not familiar with what they look like. So you can get these a lot of times in the bulk section. This is great to put in like with water or with milk in a smoothie and let it set for like 5 minutes. When you put something in with it so that it can expand, we're actually going to absorb more of the nutrients. So you can sprinkle it on things, but it's better to have them soaked to do that. So I have chia seeds in a lot of smoothies and in the recipe for the chia seed pudding. Quinoa and brown rice. Every week I prep one or the other. So I make a whole bag. A lot of times I buy even bigger bags than this. And I just make a big thing. And I have a cooler next to me because I raided my fridge here. So I just want to show you, like this is, so when I make brown rice, I put them in these 3 cup containers for Pyrex, and then I label it like brown rice with the date that I made it, and I just stack my freezer with these. Now you can also buy frozen brown rice, and I do that sometimes too. Trader Joe's has a great organic one, but it's a cost savings and it's really easy to make. And then you can make a big thing, and then every week I just grab one of these out, or I grab some quinoa out, and then you have it ready to go. I just had a question. If I'm not used to taking so many supplements, should I not do all of them at once? Which ones would be the best? You know, yeah, and I know Shelly, who's asking, has a ragweed issue. The most that I would focus on is the teas, like to do the nettle leaf and the dandelion teas. That would be the best thing. And because it's summer, making sure, you know, D is probably not going to be as important, but we want to make sure that we're outside every day. So yeah, thank you for asking that. Some of the dressings and there's some of the meals have like a white wine or rice wine vinegar, and just know that sometimes the labels look a little different. They might just say rice vinegar, they might say brown rice, and they're all really good. Some of the dressings, and I have a great hot apple cider vinegar lemon detox drink in the smoothie guide that has apple cider vinegar. Again, you know, labels just will look different, but this is, you get used to the taste after a while, but apple cider vinegar is very detoxifying. I love shortcuts. I just feel like I'm really busy. I don't like to spend all my time in the kitchen. I want to go out and have fun. So think about different shortcuts like minced garlic. Instead of chopping your own nuts, I just buy, you know, the chopped nuts, chopped walnuts, different things like that. I make my own little mix, and then I just always have it in my cupboard of chopped nuts, so I can put it on with my granola. I mean, if I make a smoothie, a lot of times I like to put a smoothie in a bowl, but I like to put something crunchy on top. So if you're a cereal eater, the smoothie in a bowl might be better, and then add some nuts for some crunch. In some of these smoothie recipes, I have maca powder. Maca is one of my favorite superfoods. It increases energy, and it has a really light taste. It's almost like butterscotchy, but this is a good one to put in your smoothies. I get mine on Amazon now. A lot of these things are actually the best price on Amazon. Otherwise, I'll shop at Trader Joe's or Fresh Time if you're in the Midwest. Valley Natural Foods is my local health food store, so you can check to see if you have a Whole Foods or anything like that around you. Also, let's see here. What else do I have here? Some of the recipes, when they call for coconut milk, I just want to clarify this. So you can buy coconut milk in a container. That would be good, you know, to use like as a milk substitute. But this is concentrated coconut milk. We always want to get the full fat one. And basically, if you want to make like a creamer for your coffee, you could just put this in a blender with some cinnamon and other vanilla, some other spices that you really like. That could be a substitute for a creamer after your cleanse. But this, to make coconut milk, is just a can plus 4 cans of water in the blender. Okay, let's see what else. Coconut oil is in some of the recipes, so just look for unrefined, cold pressed virgin olive oil. And this I got at Aldi. Like Aldi carries some really good things for good prices. I love garbanzo beans. So sometimes the tag or the label is going to say chickpeas, and sometimes it will say garbanzo beans, but it's the exact same thing. So anytime you don't have like a meat or something, I always just add garbanzo beans in almost everything. Again, Mary's Gone Crackers is one of my favorite crackers. The everything, I think it's the everything flavor is my favorite one. There's the classic that you can buy at Costco, and it's really reasonable. But these are great to put on with some natural guacamole or different things like that if you like to snack. And for shortcuts, I'm always buying fresh salsa. This is one of my questions I actually had emailed. Fresh salsa like pico de gallo, not the kind that's canned. It would be in the refrigerated deli section. And health food stores usually will make it every single day, like a fresh pico and a fresh guacamole. Just turn around the label and just make sure that you can pronounce every word and that you know what every single ingredient is. So those are great to have on hand. Another thing is when you're buying almond butter or when you're buying cashew butter, anything like that. We're staying away from peanuts this week just because they have a lot of allergies. But if you know you're okay with peanuts, you can have it. But we just want to make sure that there's no sugar. So I like to get mine at like a health food store so that it's just like this one is just ground cashews and that's it. And I put my, you at my health food store, you can just put it underneath the thing and have it go fresh right for you right there. Some recipes call for tamari sauce, and tamari sauce is a premium Japanese soy sauce. Soy sauce has wheat in it, and because we're staying away from gluten, tamari is going to be a substitute, or coconut aminos. And just a suggestion, I would just get rid of soy sauce if you have it in your house and just have tamari instead because it's a lot healthier for us. We have a recipe for some mint tea, some Moroccan mint tea. So I get my bags from Trader Joe's, but you can do any kind of tea as an iced tea and follow that same kind of directions. Sometimes I like to add in an additional tea bag. So I just usually, this is a peach detox tea that I made this morning. I let it sit on my cupboard for a while it was still hot, and then I put it in my fridge. Sometimes I like to put like some frozen fruit in it when I'm drinking it to sweeten it up a little bit more because I love having little like mocktails throughout the day. So having the tea iced for the summer is a really great refreshing drink. I also love to have a lot of organic lemons on hand. Always putting lemons in your water, in your teas, whatever you have in the morning when you start the day off. So that is the best idea, is to have fresh lemons. But if you can't get fresh lemons, I always carry this in my fridge too, the Santa Cruz organic pure lemon juice. If you don't have it, you can put a little bit in. I also love just putting some lemon essential oils, like 1 drop in my water. So because that all is going to help us detox as well. I'm just going to show you now some detox teas. So again, we want to focus on teas that have like nettle leaf in them. I don't know if everything's backwards that I'm showing you. I think they are. I've never really noticed that. Nettle leaf and dandelion. So you can look at some of the teas. Like I just bought this Diet Slim just to see what it was like, because in the ingredients, it's like, oh, okay, there is dandelion, and I love licorice. I think it's really a great taste. We just want to make sure that there's not any stevia, there's not any sweetener in them. Another one I love the flavor of is this one. It's called Everyday Detox. It's by Traditional Medicinals. And this one is the dandelion flavor. You can get one that's lemon flavor, and they still have dandelion in them. And again, I just tried the peach detox this morning. So there's so many different blends. So I would just see like what's on sale, or maybe what do you have around. if you're going to be drinking green tea in the morning, especially if you're used to having like a soda or coffee, a favorite one for me is this blueberry Slim Life green tea, just because it's a little bit sweeter than most other teas. But you can just look on the side and see what is there. But again, it's not as much caffeine as coffee, but it's still going to be giving you a little bit of caffeine for that. And I'm just going to do a quick screen share for some of the recipes, and then we're going to go, we'll be done with this here. Okay, let me just go through here. All right, oh, maybe I'll start backwards here. Okay, so this is the recipes, and because I'm just up on page 39, we're going to go backwards here. And we were just talking about iced tea. Also, because there's a lot of herbs that you can buy, or maybe you have an herb garden, I just like to put a lot of things to make flavored water, to make flavored tea. Again, there's lots of recipes in the smoothie juice and the beverage guide. So definitely look at all of those to see that. Let's see here. I'm just gonna go. So under the quick meal ideas, I have a lot of different suggestions. So you can use the recipes from the cleanse or not. I know a lot of people, you probably have some go-to recipes that would fit the guidelines, especially like salads, and go for that. Do whatever feels best for you. Sometimes you're really busy and you're like, I can't make all these meals. So think about, okay, I'm going to make hard-boiled eggs. I'm going to, what are some different things that you could do ahead of time to make it easier? Again, I love shortcuts. So like for the Asian salad that's on here, I just buy the shredded cabbage that has the carrots already in it and everything, instead of buying the cabbage and chopping it all up. I love buying bags with cut broccoli, cut cauliflower. If I know I don't have the time to cut something, it's much better use of my time to spend maybe 30 cents more, and I can just put it right in the oven to roast vegetables or different things like that. I also love to buy green juices at my health food store, so then I just have something for a snack that is great to have as well. So just look through the dinner ideas, the shortcuts, so of all the different things that you can save time while you're planning to do this as well. And let's see. I wasn't planning to go through this backwards. This might feel a little awkward here. So page 29 of the recipes. This is a meal that I've had in the cleanse before, sausage, kale, and white beans. And the reason why I like to keep it in is just because it's so fast and it's a go-to in my family. So you can just really take any kind of green that you have. You could take any kind of bean that you have. And then I love buying chicken sausage. It's a go-to of mine. When you are buying the chicken sausage, just turn over the label to see that there's no sugar. So brands like Coleman's and Belinsky's, those are usually good ones that don't have a lot of sugar in them. But you can just, it's like a little stir fry. And a lot of times, like my daughters, they like, broccoli and asparagus more than kale. So I'll put that in, serve them, then I'll add in kale, and then that's my meal. So you can make one meal for the family, but you're adding in a little bit more nutrients for yourself as well. And let's see here. There's so many recipes, so I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm going to be doing this honey garlic grilled salmon during the cleanse next week. So I love having salmon because it's great healthy fats, and a lot of us don't eat enough fish, and that's going to make our brain, the mitochondria in the brain needs to be fed with these good healthy fats. Again, you use this wheat-free tamari sauce with it. You can use the minced garlic with it, but this can also be, if you don't want to have it on the grill, you can roast it, you can pan fry it. There's so many different ways, but salmon is a nice quick meal that you can have at any time. This greens and avocado quinoa is a go-to for me, and I will eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So when I have the quinoa, already done up and it's just sitting in the fridge. It's so easy to make some meals. So then you can just put in, the coconut oil, you can saute some greens, you add some garlic, and then you add, the quinoa and whatever else you want to add. Maybe it's cilantro and tomatoes. So I just put the recipe together for what I like to eat. So and then I just like make a little guacamole, or you can buy guacamole instead. So just look at some of these meals and see like, okay, what would be best? What would be best for you, for your family? Oh, by the way, this cucumber cantaloupe salad, I had this in last summer and I had to put it back in here because it sounds so odd, like cantaloupe with red onion, but this is such a crowd pleaser. This is really good. So just give it a try if you like cantaloupe. Quinoa, again, there's lots of different kinds of quinoa salads that you can make. I also love just roasting vegetables. So you can roast vegetables, but at the beginning of the week, whatever you have on hand. Like for example, I just had a lot of broccoli and carrots that were left over from a family reunion last weekend. So I roasted everything, like these huge, veggie trays that were left over. And then we've been eating on them all week, just having different veggie bowls with different things. So you can have this, put it in salads, put it on the side with some salmon or some fish. For this one, I really like to have like carrots and Brussels sprouts. I made this salad for a potluck 2 weeks ago, and I think I had like 8 people ask for the recipe. So it's a good one as well. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, and I have a lot of homemade dressings here. I also think it's really nice just to have a great organic, or it doesn't have to be organic, but olive oil, like an extra virgin olive oil and a good balsamic vinaigrette. So you can make something very simple, but salads I encourage a lot of salads during this cleanse. This is the season to have them. And I wanted to give you just a broad overview of salads so that you didn't feel stuck. And if you're at a farmer's market, first of all, I love farmers markets. They're so much fun, and to get fresh local greens is great. So maybe they have spinach, maybe, they have kale, maybe they have dandelion, give some different things a try. I put an asterisk by the ones that are even more detoxifying as well. So now we're going into the breakfast groups here. So I love chard. You can get those at farmers market a lot. So there's a lot of things with scrambled eggs. I think it's best to start your day with something that's not sweet in the morning, but you can see how your body reacts. Everybody is a little bit different, but sometimes if you start the day off with like a sweet cereal or something really sweet, then you crave sweet for the rest of the day. But I did add some overnight berry chia seed pudding. I also added some easy pancakes. And of course, there's no sugar in them, so they are going to be good and healthy for you as well. Having a lot of different egg groups. I love this sweet potato egg bake. I made it for my future in-laws, and everybody loved it. And so it's with all the guidelines, and it's sweet because you put the sweet potato in it. What I love to do is I love to make a big old egg bake, and then I eat that every day for breakfast. And there's some days I will eat an egg bake with the salad for lunch. It's a great fast thing that you can have. Again, I encourage a lot of smoothies. Green juices are great for snacks, but you probably will need a little bit something more than just the green juice. But again, I have 19 different smoothie recipes. I have marked my favorite. So if you're new to smoothies, you're like, okay, which one's it gonna do? If you're craving chocolate, the must go-to one is the chocolate chia seed smoothie. It is so good. But green as much as you can have for green smoothies, the better. And again, we have lots of different spa waters in here, the slim down detox water, the apple cider vinegar, lemon morning detox. So all of those are going to enhance it even more. Now I also put recipes that are just basic. So again, like oven roasted veggies, you don't have to do the ones that I put down here. Whatever you have, maybe whatever is on sale at the store. How do you make rice? How do you make quinoa to prep that for the day? Now I put together like a little 5-day plan. This is what I was kind of thinking about, but this is because I like to cook once but eat it like 2 or 3 times. So you may not want to do this exact same thing, but see what works with your family. But write something out and then share it. Take a picture of it and put it in our Facebook group, so that we can see it for everybody to go, oh, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And this is, I wrote this out a while ago, so I'm not going to do this exact same one. We just did the garbanzo burgers with zucchini marinated salad for the last 2 days. And oh my gosh, I love that marinated salad. And I got everything it was on Tuesday when I made it, and I got everything at the farmer's market, so I loved how fresh it was. The garbanzo burgers are a little daunting to make. I just don't like cleaning dishes. So that's one of my things is if there's too many pans used, I take the recipe off. But this one, you do use your food processor. But I've been eating these garbanzo burgers now for like 4 days. So I made a lot of them. And sometimes I just put like guacamole on top with some onions and on a salad. So you can eat it many different ways. So again, see what is going to be best for you for that. And I just want to see if there's any other questions at all. I know I had someone ask about, corn, like why isn't corn included? And I was actually really shocked when I went back to school to learn more about corn. And so yeah, most of our corn in America is genetically modified. And it's actually, depending on when it's harvested and everything, but it's really technically a grain. But corn, it's kind of inflammatory for most people's diets or most people's bodies. So it's good for us to take out the foods that are typically the most inflammatory to see if we can reduce the pain, to see if we can get rid of the toxins within us. So that is why these are the foods that are being taken out, because they are known to be inflammatory in most people. But as we add them back in, then you can see how your body reacts. Corn is a big one. Oh, I just had a question. Can we drink store-bought kombucha? So I love that question, and I don't have a yes or no answer to you. So kombucha is fermented tea, and it's fermented with sugar. So because it's fermented, a lot of the sugar is taken out. So I would advise you to do what you think is best. If you're drinking kombucha, I would say like 4 ounces a day, add it with some sparkling water to make a little mocktail. But because it's a probiotic, it's healthy for your digestion, and it's going to help move things along. So I would just say limit the amount of it, but I would say it's okay. I still drink kombucha when I cleanse because I feel that there's more benefit to that as well. And I make my own. So the store-bought ones do have more sugar in them. So again, make sure you put some sparkling water or some of your iced tea in with it. Just something to, so it's not so sweet. Because again, whatever we just eat, we're going to have more of the cravings at that time. Yeah, and I had one question, someone just said, I'm really nervous. I have eaten so many sweets this summer, and I don't know how I'm going to go without it. And my advice is just to breathe and to be focused on, again, everything that you can eat here. Foods that are naturally sweet are going to be great. So having like the sweet potato, having a smoothie that has like the frozen banana in it. So those are going to help with your cravings. Drink a ton of water. I cannot express that enough this weekend to drink lots of water. Water is typically, you take your weight, you divide by 2, and that's about how many ounces of water you should drink each day. But because it's summer and if you're outside a lot, I need to drink more water than my calculation. So see how your body is. But yeah, so, and again, if you have any issues, just come onto the Facebook group or contact me and I will be there for you. I will be sending out emails every day with some support and advice. Again, on the Facebook group, make sure that you are seeing all posts so you can be active in that. And if there's any other questions, I can answer them now. Otherwise, I will be in the Facebook group this weekend. So, but thank you so much. I'm so excited that you are all here and that we will be cleansing together. I have a class reunion this weekend, so it's going to be a busy weekend. So Sunday is my shopping and prep day, and then all gears are going straight on. So I'm starting Monday morning. So anyway, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.